Today we are flying Indonesia's Super Air jet, which promises you a super flying experience, but the only super I encountered was a super dirty jet, a super broken jet, a super delayed jet, and a super slow check-in jet. The whole experience was just super disappointing, and perhaps you want to watch the full review to see why you shouldn't fly Super Air jet either. My trip started in East Timor the very morning, flying from Dili to Denpasar and a new flag carrier Air Dili. Make sure you check out that review as well. But today I wanted to try Superjet to Jakarta, a new budget airline which started operation only 2 years ago, but their fleet has grown to over 60 planes already, so it was a great opportunity to give them a proper review. I've taken dozens of trips within Indonesia in the past, whether it was on CityLink, Batik Air, or the nation's flag carrier Garuda Indonesia, and it has always been a very organized and decent experience. So I was wondering what Super Air jet was going to be like, and the check-in was already an absolute disaster. I almost spent 2 hours waiting, and not because the line was that long, but because their staff needed a good 15 minutes per passenger to check them in, which was highly frustrating and not the norm in Indonesia at all.
So guys, all checked in for the Super Air jet experience to Jakarta. What a painful check-in process, but we made it.
It was fascinating to see how busy Denpasar has become again. I remember being stuck in Bali for 6 months during the pandemic and how the island turned into a ghost town. And now, in 2023, the place is busier than ever. So if I look high or stoned, I didn't smoke any weed, I just had a foot massage, so in a pretty good zen zone. My question for you guys is, I'm always amazed when such airlines like Superjet come out of nowhere, been operating for a year, already have 65 planes. It's incredible. Why doesn't these kind of things happen in Europe? Is it because the market is already exhausted there? Is it the fact that we are less willing to take risk, or there's less money in Europe, or less customers? Yeah, let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear an expert opinion on that. Though the flight was scheduled for 2:15, we ended up with a 2-hour delay, even though the plane only arrived with a 10-minute delay from its prior destination. A quick turnaround time is the essence of every budget airline, but Super Airjet seems to struggle a bit with that, which is a little frustrating. However, this is our plane today, an 11-year-old Airbus A320-200, which already had a very hectic life in a different country, but more about that once we get on board.
Thank you. Finally boarding.
We then started boarding, and instead of having a bus taking us there, we would walk to the plane, which is a dream for every F-geek. The airline is currently operating 61 second-hand Airbus A320s with an average age of 12 years, making it one of the oldest 320 fleets in the world for an airline that only exists for 2 years, which is very interesting. They also have no new planes on order, which is a shame if you're going to see how worn these planes are. First impression, a lukewarm welcome and a cabin manager busy playing on her phone, something you don't really get to see very often, and it doesn't really look very welcoming or professional either. However, here we are on board, and yes, you guessed right, this is an old Indigo Airbus A320 which found a new home in Indonesia. The plane features 180 seats in a standard 3-3 configuration. However, the first thing you notice is how incredibly filthy everything is. Every seat in my row was just really disgusting, and it hasn't seen a cleaner in a long time. You could also see how worn and broken everything was, including the recline of my seat. It looks like a clear case of an airline that wanted to make a quick buck without any vision or concept, but still just fill as many slots as possible. Even the crew seemed extremely unmotivated, which speaks of a missing brand identity. Even the website was the saddest thing I've seen in a long while.
So guys, and here we are, welcome on board Superjet, and I think a good slogan for them would be super late and super filthy.
Yeah, stains everywhere. It hasn't been cleaned really, so priorities are elsewhere. However, the F-geek in me recognized it straight away that this is an old Indigo Airbus A320, which probably used to fly in India for a decade or more and is now in service with Super Air Jet. Yeah. And as if the initial delay wasn't enough already, we spent another 45 minutes on the ground without working air conditioning, which just added to the many other problems this airline have. Though we then finally pushed back for our 2-hour flight to Indonesia's capital, Jakarta. Let's continue with the category of things that don't work on Super Air Jet. The airline claims to have free entertainment on board by connecting to its Wi-Fi, something a bunch of airlines do. But throughout the entire flight, the network wasn't working and I wasn't able to join. Another Super Air Jet fail. So make sure you come prepared and pre-download your favorite podcasts. So, it's half an hour until we touched down in Jakarta, and SuperJet is a very super weird airline. So apart from the super slow check-in, the super late boarding and super filthy seats, as well as everything being super broken, including the in-flight entertainment which isn't working. Also, they don't sell any snacks, or there's no food. You can't pre-purchase anything. There's nothing. Like, the crew's literally here to say hello and goodbye. The one crew member is sitting in the back and sleeping because they have nothing to do. And for a budget airline, this is all very strange, because they make a lot of revenue from onboard sales and all that stuff. So yeah, this is a very super strange airline, SuperJet. So yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, as I said, we have 45 minutes or half an hour to go until we land in Jakarta. So if somebody can explain to me what SuperJet is all about, I'm all ears and I can't wait to hear it. I treated myself to a little nap and we then started our descent into Jakarta, the country's busiest airport. We were originally scheduled to arrive at 3 p.m, but we literally just landed in time for sunset. So if you're in a rush or you have an onward flight, don't fly Super Air Jet. It was just super shocking to see how almost everything was going wrong on today's flight. But that's the beauty of unannounced and not sponsored flight reviews, which don't mislead the general public. With me, you always have the guarantee that I tell you the story the way I see it. Are you also tired of endless spams and weird phone calls and wonder why you get them? Because your personal data is being sold online every day by so-called data brokers, which is resulting in you getting endless spam emails, annoying phone calls of people trying to sell you stuff. However, today's sponsor, Incogni, helped me to solve this issue and will liberate you from endless spams as well as phone calls. I opened an account and they found my personal information was with 278 data brokers selling my email, phone number and other valuable data. It's a big money business, but luckily you have the right to request that those data brokers delete the information they have about you. Unfortunately, it would take you years to do it manually. That's why I love Incogni, because they do the work for you. They contact the data broker on your behalf and request for your data to be removed from their list. So you don't need to do anything other than opening an account, grant them the right to work for you, and just sit back and relax while Incogni takes care of it. So the good news is the first 100 people to use my code Josh Cahill with the link in the description box below will get 60% off. So say goodbye to unwanted spam emails and annoying phone calls. Now let's get back to the review. And of course, it wouldn't be a super air jet flight if I didn't have to wait super long for my luggage. It took almost another 45 minutes to receive my bag, and by the end of the day I was just so exhausted of their nonsense. Luckily, my hotel was located a short ride away from the airport. So, and here I am, welcome to the Fairfield by Marriott, just opposite Jakarta International Airport, where I'm going to tomorrow because I'll be flying Singapore Airlines, going home to Sri Lanka after 30 days of creating content. It was a long trip, it was exhausting, and it was quite of a challenge, but this was the last trip. Superjet, it was rather super strange. They were late. Super slow check-in experience, nothing was working. It's an interesting concept, and it's such a massive airline that has grown so quick. 61 planes or something like that. Even at the airport when we arrived, there were like Superjet everywhere. But I think they still have a lot of work to do. That's why I excuse them a lot, because they're new. But it was also like, yeah, rather strange. Rather strange, but probably they're always on time. I just happened to get that flight that is late. But then as well, like the in-flight entertainment, cabin was filthy beyond. It was terrible, and a lot of things were broken, and it didn't really come across like a nice airline, to be honest. It looked cheap and like a wannabe budget airline, and I do think there's massive room for improvement. But also the price wasn't anything extraordinary. It was not like I paid 20 bucks. So yeah, but this is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of Superjet in the comment section below. If you want to join my WhatsApp group, have early access to my videos, get a Cahill keyring, your name in the credits, or a lot behind the scenes, check out my Patreon page. The link is in the description box below. And that's it, guys. I'm gonna order some room service to celebrate the end of a 1-month trip, and probably gonna get some sleep because last night I didn't get any. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and wherever you're off to, have a safe trip.